Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. And for those of you who are new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you. Today we have a very special pick a card reading. This is actually a collaboration between myself, Luna Tarot, and Kino. So we have a trifecta today. Both of these women are just absolutely incredible readers. They are my soul sisters. I have known that since hearing their voice, since the very first YouTube videos that I watched from them. So I'm just so excited. And today, the reading that I'm going to be doing is on how you're transforming your love life. Kino is going to be doing a reading on how you are transforming your spirituality, how you're awakening spiritually. And then Luna's reading is on how you are transforming your career. So as you can tell, the theme is all about transformation. And that is because we're going into Scorpio season. We're getting into the fall as well. So this is a natural time of year to shed old skins, bring in the new, and be open to leveling up. So that's what we're talking about today. So definitely go ahead and check out both of their videos. It will be a wonderful complement to this reading, so you can get a very big and full picture of what is coming for you in terms of transformation, and I'm linking both their videos down below, so please make sure to check them out. And I just want to say thank you to both of them again. I love you both so much. Thank you to everybody watching from all parties, from Luna's channel, Kino's channel, my channel. You know I love all of you, and you're all helping spread more love and light. So this is going to be exciting. And so without further ado, I'm going to share the 4 piles that we are working with today. And once again, this reading is on how are you transforming in your love life. So pile 1 is the Opalite. Pile 2 is Amethyst. For pile 3, we are using Lapis Lazuli. And for pile 4, we have the Smoky Quartz. So take a deep breath, turn your thoughts inwards, and focus your intuition on whatever pile seems to be calling out most to you. And then once you've got that, you can fast forward using the timestamps below to get your own personal reading. And I will see you there. Thank you so much. All right, pile 1. So your first card is the Ten of Swords. And we are going to continue shuffling and find out a little bit more about how you are transforming your love life, what's coming for you, anything like that. And we are using the Moonchild Tarot deck today, which is an absolutely beautiful deck. I love it so much. And then I'm also going to pull some angel spirit cards too. See what advice your spirit guides have for you about your love life. Just going to get one more for you all. All right, so let's get started here. The first thing I want to say is that with the Ten of Swords being the first card in your spread, I feel like a lot of you have recently ended a relationship or come out of a relationship. There's definitely an ending that has taken place here, and for some of you, I do think it caused some mental anguish, but I do also think that on another level, you know it was the right thing, and you know that the hard part of your love life is actually behind you. Whether you've dealt with some feelings of depression or anxiety or simply just loss, having lost this relationship and this connection, I definitely want you to know that there are much better things coming for you. And I feel that you're extremely divinely guided. Like you have the Ten of Swords and you also have divine wisdom. And these 2 cards being next to each other show me that yes, there was an ending here and it was a painful ending, but at the same time, on a subconscious level, you knew that it was meant to end. And remember, this is in the past. This has already happened. So I don't think this is something that is going to be plaguing you for much longer. It feels like divine wisdom is at your side, and it feels like you'll be able to move on just fine. I'm getting that a lot of you are very tuned into your spirit guides, your angels, all of those who are watching over you, everybody who has significant messages and support for you. And what I'm getting is that you might have kind of questioned yourself at the beginning, like, did I do the right thing? Or am I acting the right way? Or should I be doing something else instead? But actually, you're shown very quickly that yes, of course you're doing the right thing. As long as you're following your intuition and your gut, it is right for you. And what I'm getting is one of the themes of transformation for you is actually bringing in more of an energy of freedom, like not wanting to feel constricted or tied down to something or someone, but actually feeling more free, feeling liberated, feeling more creative because of that. And so that is one of the big themes for you as you are transforming or up-leveling in your love life. And for those of you who need to hear it, if you've been struggling with difficult emotions, I just want you to remember that this is a transformation, and transformations take time. You know, sometimes they're not super easy at the beginning, but as long as you're following your intuitive guidance, which I feel that you want to, and that's your intention, I think that you're going to be very successful. And I get that it's kind of like a gradual building up of becoming exactly who you have always been meant to be. So you've signed up for this on a soul level. You already know the type of person that you want to become. You know where your life is taking you. And staying in this connection or relationship was not actually going to allow you to achieve that. So I'm getting that you're really trusting your guidance, and even if you're having some doubts, like some of you are kind of like, oh, am I actually trusting my guidance? So even if you're having some doubts, know that your guidance is available to you and you are living it out and you're just following it and trusting it. And I advise you to just keep trusting more. It was the right thing for you that this happened. And basically, everything that will continue to happen are all just little signs that your spirit guides want you to know to show you that you made the right decision and that you are going on a new journey. So this is the beginning of a new cycle for you. And even I'm getting pulled to numerology, like thinking about 10-year cycles and that type of thing. I really feel like a lot of you are charting a new path, and that this whole year has been very significant for you. So that's super, super exciting, I think. So you also have the Seven of Wands here, and when we see the Seven of Wands, this card is about a little bit of conflict, a little bit of struggle, but what I'm getting is I don't see this being actually very challenging. For some reason, your spirit guides are pulling me a lot to the outside, and I know that the weather is changing and we're coming into fall and stuff like that, but I'm getting the feeling that your first intention will be to be alone and to simply rebuild yourself. Build yourself back up to feeling really confident and strong, having a stable footing is what your spirit guides are saying. So making sure that you're feeling grounded, getting outside a lot. And your spirit guides are showing me outdoor concerts and spending time outside, going on walks in nature, really doing exercises and activities that are going to ground you, connect you back to Mother Nature. That feels important. And I have this feeling like you're almost like this solo traveler that goes on a quest to rediscover themselves. And by doing that, that's how you find love. It's not like you have to go on a dating app and specifically look for it. It truly feels like just vibrating in your highest essence and focusing on yourself. You emit this radiant light around you, and people will naturally be super attracted to you. And I almost have the feeling like you don't really need to do anything at all other than focus on yourself and just go about your daily life and make sure that you're getting out and about and keeping yourself busy. And I feel like people are literally going to be stopping you on the street, coming up to you if you're in bars or out in public or out at an event or a concert. It just feels like there's no effort required to meet people. And I feel like once you start meeting people, then it's a bit more of a grooming process. I'm getting that you're going to have multiple different options available to you. And one thing I will say is, especially if some of you were in a longer term relationship before, it feels like this is really exciting, but at the same time, it's a little bit overwhelming just because there's so many different options and you don't quite remember how to go about the whole dating world. So that's for those of you who are in like a committed relationship, probably for a while. And that's really normal. You know, it takes a while to kind of get back into the swing of things. But I want you to know that you're definitely going to have more than one option available. I see at least 3 or 4, I'm just going to say contenders, who are attracted to you, who you also find interesting. And I think that you kind of go through this process of really looking within and trying to understand what is actually right for me, like what characteristics and qualities am I specifically looking for? And what I'm getting is, I think that you have some interesting experiences because you meet some people where you're like, oh, that person is really attractive and cute, but they're lacking this other quality I'm looking for. And then you also experience the opposite, which is, oh my gosh, this person's personality is amazing. However, physically, I'm looking for something a little different. So what I want to say is, energetically, it feels like over the next 3 to 4 months, you're kind of in this spot where, once again, I do see you actively dating people. That's kind of how it feels, but it feels casual. It doesn't feel like super long-term commitment right now. And I feel that after about 4 months, maybe 5 maximum, that's when you would feel more ready to shift into a relationship that is like a long-lasting relationship. And I want you to know that, especially if you have been through a breakup or have been through an ending recently, it feels that this whole process is very healthy for you and is exactly what you need. And your spirit guides don't want you to rush into things, they just want you to stay positive. So here they're saying remain positive. There might be some times where you feel kind of like, okay, when am I going to meet my next partner? Like, you might get kind of antsy or restless at times, but overall, I think that you stay fairly grounded, and I think that there is a peaceful resolution here, as you can see in this card. So definitely it's like the rainbow is coming out, you are filled with light. The higher vibrating your essence becomes, the more you are attracting people from all over. And what I want to say for your group in particular is, I have this feeling like people of all different age groups are very attracted to you. So you might have some people who are in their 20s who are attracted to you, others in their 30s, others in their 40s, others maybe even in their 50s, depending on how old you are and when you're watching this reading. But I just feel like you have a very wide variety of options available to you, and part of the transformation is just trying to understand, okay, now I know myself again. I'm like this sun here, just glowing, and you can see the sun has a million rays coming out, and these are all the different options and all the different people who you're going to come into contact with. And so it's like, how do you stay centered and true to yourself while still exploring what's outside of you? And so I think you just take your time with it. I think that during this time, you are becoming even more spiritual. I think a lot of you are inherently very spiritual. Meditation brings answers. So any signs that you want to ask for from your angels and spirit guides, they're definitely helping you at this time. They're guiding you towards the right people for you. And there are at least 2 people I'm getting that are strong contenders in terms of who you will end up with in a relationship long term. And as I said, I would see that happening closer to after 4 or 5 months from when you watch this. But I just get that you are transforming your love life because you're actually choosing to receive at a higher level. What you had before was not fulfilling you in some way, shape, or form, whether you ended it or the other person ended it. Your divine wisdom and your intuition knew on a soul level, deep, deep, deep down, that there was just something off. It was like a really tiny thing in some cases, but it was just a little bit off, and that was enough to not give you the confidence to want to marry that person or to want to end up with them forever. And so what I'm getting is that with your new person, who will be coming in after a few months and after you've been able to focus on yourself, this is happening at perfect timing. This is happening when you feel so happy, so free, so confident. Not really, what I'm getting is, it's like you don't even have to worry about meeting people because you know that you're vibrating at such a high level that people are just always around you, always you know, trying to introduce themselves to you. So one thing I can say is this might become a little tiring, so just stay true to yourself and know that it's okay to say no as well, and you don't have to be super nice to everyone. Your essence shines forth, and that is what's going to make you very happy with this person one day. And then lastly, here we have the 4 of Wands. And so this card, as you all know probably by now, is the happiest card in the deck. And one thing I want to say about this card is, if you look at this, we have this beautiful light here, and you can see there's a lot of light in your card. So not only are you protected by divine wisdom, but you are glowing. You know, you have this light inside of you here. Meditation is bringing you answers. There's a peaceful resolution. You're remaining positive. And then here in this card, that same light is actually shared between these two people. So I feel like one thing that you're going to spend time on, and one thing that's helping you transform, is actually talking with the community about your different options, about the path that you're going on spiritually, and about how you're deepening your intuitive gifts. And I feel like you are sharing your light with somebody else. In about 4.5 to 5 months from now, that's when I think this real union and partnership is coming in. And I just want you to know that I think you're going to have a lot of fun over the next few months. To me, it feels like you actually enjoy coming back to yourself, and you enjoy feeling more grounded, and that feels beautiful. And once you meet this person, I think there's really no doubt in your mind, because not only are they a spiritual person, they're also intellectual, they feel very wise, and they feel safe. Like, they feel like home. And so I think you'll know when you meet this person, oh, okay, I get it. That's the right person for me. They have a very pure vibe about them. Like, it feels like they're totally in it for the right reasons. They want to be loyal, they're very trustworthy, they're just a nice person. And this is you. You know, you've had this stick, you've been able to analyze all these different things. You're in this open, expansive flower field, so you can run around if you wish, but you decide to choose this person in particular because they're very wise, they're intuitive, they're caring, they're exactly the right person for you. And in many ways, they mirror you as well. So there's something about the two of you that you share in common, where they're fascinated by you and you're fascinated by them, and you have this unexplainable connection. And that is why you share your light with them, and they respect your light and they hold it and they take care of it. So I love this for you. I think this is an extremely committed relationship, is what I'm getting. I think for many of you, this is for life. For others of you, it is just a very, very, very long relationship, and extremely rewarding and fulfilling. It's not the type of thing you would ever want to pass up. It's something you have chosen from your soul, and you have been meant to meet this person for a long time. So this is all super exciting. I'm really happy for you. I hope that you enjoy your kind of individual phase, and again, know that your essence is just so light and vibrant that people are going to naturally be attracted to you regardless. And then once you meet this person, I really do see a very committed and loyal union for you, and something where you share a lot of passions together. So it feels really beautiful. In terms of transformation, you've decided to receive at a higher level, and that's why your spirit guides are going to reward you with the right partner, the person who really gets your preferences and your needs and really wants to take care of you in that way. Also realizing that you are very independent and that you don't actually need anybody else, so they understand they're just complimenting you, they're there to support you. So I hope this gave you some clarity and guidance today. Please check out both Kino and Luna's videos. They are both amazing, so I'm just so excited to get to do this collaboration with them. If you like this reading, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. If you would like a personal reading, my links are all down below. I only take personal readings through Schedulicity and Wizio, and then I'm also hosting a manifestation circle on October 20th. So please come and join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. I would love to see you there. And thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! All right, pile 2, welcome to your reading. So your first card is the Ten of Wands, and we are just going to pick a couple other cards here and see what transformations you are bringing into your love life and how all of that is affecting you. So here you have the Three of Wands, you have the Ace of Wands, and the Fool. And then I'm just going to pull some cards from this Angel Oracle deck as well. So you have You're Ready, No with an exclamation point. Success. Don't stop. And then you also have improving health, which wanted to pop out as well. So let's get started here. And the first thing that I'm immediately getting is I feel like a lot of you are givers, and like you have spent a lot of your life and relationships in particular carrying other people's weight and other people's burdens. And part of the reason why I'm saying that is because here you have the Ten of Wands. So when we see this card, this is often about carrying a lot of responsibilities, feeling like you have a lot of baggage, a lot of weight on your shoulders, things feeling kind of challenging. And it almost is that energy of almost like pushing a boulder up a hill. Like, when will it end? When will I feel free? When will I feel light again? And what I'm getting is that this is actually a very significant card because the Ten of Wands is the end of the cycle. So when you see this card, this means that you're actually about to complete this phase of your life, and you're going to break that pattern of basically always giving too much. But it also does mean that in the past, you probably have had quite a few relationships where you have taken on way too much and other people have learned to rely on you instead of relying on themselves. And now you are basically reclaiming your power and understanding that you really do need to prioritize yourself. And I'm not saying that in a corny way, I'm saying it in a way where I feel like you've come to some really deep realizations about what makes you happy and the type of people who truly light you up. And the feeling I'm getting is that at least your love life in the past has been very characterized by a lot of loyalty and commitment in many ways, but also people who don't necessarily put in as much as you're putting in. And I don't think that they ever had bad intentions. It really just feels like they kind of took you for granted, and you are breaking that cycle and putting an end to that. And so when I see this no card here, and the fact that it has an exclamation point, I'm getting a message about boundaries and actually saying no and being very forceful in using your no. And at the beginning, as you start to set these boundaries, I think that it feels a little bit unnatural because your tendency is to say yes. And your tendency is to always be there for people and always listen and be so giving and so kind. But I think that what you've learned, especially in this most recent connection that you were in, is to say no and to start prioritizing yourself more so than other people and to really protect your energy. And I see you turning inwards for just a little bit of time, but through doing that and through setting really strong boundaries, I feel that you get a lot more out of life, and it just feels like very healing and almost more holistic, I want to say. Like, I want to say that you find the magic in life again and things feel freeing again. I see you spending more time in nature. I see you really rediscovering yourself. And because of that, I feel like it becomes easier to connect with the right people because naturally, the people that you bring into your life are going to be people who are also very self assured and rely on themselves and know that they can't look externally to get that support and that guidance. Of course, we want to support each other in relationships, but we also know to a certain extent that we can't heal other people, we can only heal ourselves. And so I think that in your future relationships, one way that you're transforming is you are bringing in a partner who truly knows that they're responsible for their own healing, and you are no longer responsible for other people's healing. Maybe you thought that in the past. I'm sure you'll still continue to help people because that's just your nature, but you are realizing that actually, as you shift into this new phase of love and relationships, you come first and you prioritize yourself first. And that's what I really like about this pile. So here we have the Three of Wands. And what I'm getting is that one of the ways you're transforming is actually it's going to sound a little bit interesting, but you're considering multiple options, multiple different people. I feel like in the past you were the type of person who wanted to commit really early, or you found someone and it was very easy for you to get swept off your feet with somebody. But I think now you're trying to stay a little bit more grounded and stable. And I'm not talking about dating 12 people at a time. I'm simply just saying that I think you learn to observe and to kind of pace your relationships, and by not being in a rush or not jumping into anything, I feel like that gives you a lot more information about different people's personalities and how they actually fulfill you and how they fit into your existing life. And to me, I'm getting that you do have multiple options. There will be multiple people who are interested in you. I see this, it's like this beautiful sun here on the horizon, and then there's like this ripple effect coming from the sun. And to me, this is symbolizing that there are going to be a couple of people who you're considering, so more than one. I definitely think that you have more than one option, and also as you are observing, I know it sounds kind of funny or maybe a little bit too tactical, but I do feel like you have a bit of an assessment process. Now, it feels like you want somebody to be really committed with, and I feel like you might not get married immediately, but in some ways you're ready to have that final relationship where it's like your relationship for life. And so you really don't want to rush into it this time. I feel like you actually take it slow but sure. You pace it, you observe, you think very tactically about how this person would fit into your life, what you need from them. And I think that one thing that you are getting really good at is also communicating your needs. So I feel like in the past, you were the type of person who would always listen to other people before expressing your needs. But now you've shifted more into an energy of speaking authentically and sharing what it is that fulfills you and lights you up, and kind of being really upfront about that from the get-go, which I think is so healthy. And I think that this is really going to help all of your future connections, both romantic and non-romantic, because people don't have to do the guesswork anymore. And so I'm getting that in the past, perhaps you dealt with situations where people were taking you for granted, but to a certain extent, they didn't even know that they were taking you for granted. And now you are being a lot more deliberate about where you expend your energy, how much time you have for yourself, the types of people you hang out with. And this is something that is connected to your friends as well, not just romance. I feel like you are really up-leveling in the types of people that you associate yourself with, and that you are bringing in friends who are full of light and love and positivity, and you just don't have time for people that are negative or extremely self-defeating or just see the glass half empty all the time. I feel like you've kind of moved past that phase in your life and you're just not interested in dealing with that type of vibration anymore. So this is like a whole new spiritual journey for you, and definitely I'm getting that your next partner, should you choose them wisely, which I think you will as long as you don't rush into it, I think your next partner is your partner for life. And that person, to me, feels very humble, secure. I think you feel very safe with them. I'm getting a very practical vibe. I do get a lot of earth energy. I feel like this person is open-minded, but the biggest word I want to use for them is humble. And this is actually a change for you because I think some of you have been with people who, this is going to sound funny, but they kind of think that they're all that, or they think that they're really special. And it's not like they're a show off, but I think they just kind of think so highly of themselves. And the person that you're going to be with in the future is confident, but they wouldn't brag about themselves. Like, they're just not that type of person. I feel like they're very humble, very grounded. They're going to be a really good parent, a lot of stability, a lot of steady energy, very practical. So not the type of person that would walk around bragging about themselves, because they don't have that insecurity where they need to brag, if that makes sense. They're just confident in themselves. You're confident in yourself. And so when you two come together, it feels like a really beautiful pairing, and it's like two strong individuals who meet together on your own terms. So when I see this success card here, I'm definitely thinking for sure that this next relationship is the final relationship for you and the lasting relationship. It feels like you are flying towards the light, just like this angel is looking up towards this beautiful beam of light. And I just see a lot of positivity in your next relationship. And this is a relationship that will definitely fulfill you for life. This is a person who you're not going to get bored of. I feel this person is very dynamic. To me, it feels like you have mindfully made your standards higher. And it's not like you've sat down and you've necessarily written out really intense requirements for your next partner, but I think you have put some thought into it. And I think you are being more deliberate about the types of people who you hang out with and understanding how they affect your vibration. So, transformation wise, it just seems like your soulmate or your partner that you're going to end up with is actually a reflection of all of the work you've been putting into yourself. And I feel like a lot of you have made a commitment to yourself. Like it feels like some of you have done coaching or have focused on personal development or have focused on building your intuition. It feels like you've actually spent time and money to invest in that work and to focus on your own growth. And I just want you to know that that is definitely going to pay off. I see immense success when we see the Ace of Wands. This is a card of just immense growth, immense success. It's kind of like the hole in one. Like if you were to think of a golf game, the Ace of Wands to me is like, yeah, you got it. And I don't feel that it's like particularly hard or taxing to get your next relationship. I actually feel like this is the universe's way of rewarding you because you're completing that cycle. You've already carried all the heavy work, and now the universe is saying, you have realized so much, you've grown so much, and now your next relationship is going to be the one that stays with you for life. And it's all good from there. So that's really exciting. So when we see the Fool here, this is a new beginning. I feel like for many of you, this next relationship is coming in the next 2.5 months. If you already know this person, then it can be even sooner for sure. But I'm getting if you haven't met, you will probably meet them in the next 2.5 months. Your spirit guides are saying something about the film industry, something about, it feels kind of artistic. I think your future partner is somehow connected to the arts, but it might even be a loose connection. Like it could be a hobby or just something they really enjoy doing. But I'm getting a lot about film and just feeling like they're a very dynamic person. Like I think they have some unique interests. And your spirit guides are also talking about documentaries. Like I feel like your person is a lifelong learner, and that is why they never get boring to you. Because what I'm getting is you're the type of person who wants to be excited, you don't want to get bored, you don't like being stagnant. I feel like you always want to grow, you're always improving yourself. And that's why you really have no hesitation to spend money or to make a commitment on things like personal growth and development, because you know that's what's going to fulfill you in life. And I'm getting that this person is very much the same in that way. Some of them might even be like psychologists or coaching industry, or even something with science. Some of them have a science vibe as well, but in a way where they really care about supporting other people, developing other people. I think that one thing you two share in common is a genuine desire to help humanity level up and to uplift people and to help bring people out of situations that they struggle with, to help them work through it and realize that they actually already have the tools internally. So this is a really wonderful mission that the two of you share together. And I think that even though you don't work together per se, you share that mission and you both do it separately. And then when you come together, you have so much to talk about. So they might even be like a therapist or something like that. But definitely growth is important in this connection because you have all these butterflies. If you look closely at this card, they're all resting on this woman's head and then they're flying as well. So this is a new beginning for you. This is definitely a transformation. And I'm getting that this is exciting because one, you know that it is leveling up, but it also carries some mystery with it. Just like the universe is this huge galaxy and you haven't been able to explore every single thing in the world, or in our greater world, you know, not just Earth, but beyond that, this new relationship, which is going to come in for you, is going to hold new things, mysterious things, new lessons, things that you haven't truly been exposed to before. But what I like about it is it feels very safe. And so it feels like you learn a lot and you level up, but with a blanket of comfort and security, which is just so beautiful. So I also want to quickly address this card, which is You're Ready. So yeah, to me, this is just you're ready. You're ready to let go of things that no longer serve you. You are ready to let all of that shed away. And it feels like you already have gone through a trimming process where the things that are not authentic to you are actually being burned off of you. This is very common, especially if you're going through your Saturn return. It's like anything that's not authentic to you is just burned off of you. When you think about it, you are burning things off that aren't authentic. And when I say burning, it has that energy of fire, and it does have that energy of almost like a scintillating energy where it comes almost as a shock, but at the same time, on a very deep level, you know that this is right for you. And it's kind of like the phoenix rising from the ashes. You're ready to have this new beginning. You're ready to definitely bring in a more authentic and empowering and uplifting person into your love life. And this person has a lot of wisdom, and I think you connect on not only a spiritual level, but also just a level of feeling safe and secure with this person. So I just think that your next relationship is extremely significant and extremely rewarding. And so here you also have Don't Stop. So this is fairly self-explanatory. When we see this card, this is about not stopping. You're going in the right direction. When you have You're Ready and Don't Stop together, this is a lot of forward momentum. I feel like you are going at a fast pace now. Like, you don't need to slow down. You know exactly what you need to do. You have been following the light for a while, and now you're being rewarded, and your love life is going to be the thing where everything kind of feels like it's brought into completion once you have this divine partner as well. Because I'm getting a lot of you are already very creative and have already figured out a lot when it comes to your personal growth, your self-development, even your career for many of you. But the love life is the final cherry on top, and that thing that completes the whole nice picture. And then here we have improving health. And so this to me is just a reflection of everything in your life working together. When I see this card, I think a lot about the chakra system. I think about how everything in our lives is truly a reflection of our internal state. So you have worked on your mind, you've worked on your thoughts, you have been very focused on abundance and affirmations, staying positive. That has influenced your actions have influenced your behavior has influenced the types of people that you're surrounded by, your preferences in life, what you're willing to receive, also what you're willing to say no to, and being strong about that. And I think all of this is contributing to improving health, both physically and mentally, and then of course emotionally and spiritually as well. So I feel like you are in a perfect place right now in your life. I highly encourage you to just continue with your journey. You're going to have success. There's no need to stop. Just keep going in the direction that you're in. I'm so excited for you. I feel like your next relationship is the lifelong relationship. So definitely comment down below if you already know this person or if you're excited to meet them. I'm just so happy. I can't wait to hear all of your stories. I hope this reading gave you clarity and guidance. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. Don't forget to check out Kino's video and Luna's video. They are both amazing, so you'll be so excited to watch them. And if you would like a personal reading, you can book using the links down below. And then we do have a manifestation circle coming up on October 20th. So you can reserve your spot using the links down below as well. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye. All right, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So we have your first card here, and the first card is the 5 of Pentacles. This usually symbolizes the energy that you have been dealing with, and now we are going to pull some cards on how your love life is transforming, anything you can expect. So let's see what comes through. So you have the 8 of Pentacles here, You have the Emperor. You have the Four of Pentacles. And then I'm also going to pull some cards from this Angel Spirit Guide Oracle deck and see what comes through. Romance. That feels significant. Unlikely. Okay. Let go. And then trust. The first thing I'm getting for this pile is some of you are in contact with somebody who resembles just going through a cycle. Like, this is a cycle that is honestly not particularly healthy. This is the type of person who continually reaches out to you and expects to get back together with you or have some kind of physical contact with you, and yet they are not giving you what you deserve in terms of a relationship. And I'm getting that this is most definitely relevant for a number of people who are watching this pile. It feels like old patterns, old habits are continuing, and I'm just going to be really honest. If you find yourself in that situation, I know it's super hard. I have been there before. I totally understand how challenging it is, and I empathize on a million different levels. But what is needed for your transformation is actually to dig deep within and have the courageousness to break that cycle. And I think you will. And I think the reason that you've been guided to watch this reading is because your spirit guides really need you to know that now is the time. It's hard because this person has been like a safety blanket for you in some ways, but your spirit guides really want you to let go of this connection, and they don't want you to stay in this energetic vibration, which is honestly, it's keeping you at a lower level, and you deserve much, much more out of life and out of your romantic relationships. So that is the first message, which to me feels very urgent to communicate to you. And I just want you to know that if you are in that situation, have confidence in yourself, because you are so much stronger than you think you are, and you will be able to break that cycle. And it honestly feels like the second you do that, you will start to get signs from the universe that it was the right thing to do. And literally 2 to 3 weeks later, I think that there are promising people that come to you who are absolutely amazing and just signify something so much deeper and richer, and something where it's like you really actually deserve that type of love, which is so much more high vibrational, so much better for you. So the first message is simply to break this cycle, break this pattern. That's the Five of Pentacles coming through. Also, what I'm getting is that if you're thinking of a specific person and this is resonating, this is a connection that you've put a lot of effort into. Like, this is not something where you've only met up 2 times. To me, it feels like this has been continual months worth of effort, and you have always accepted this person for who they are. And I feel like the thing that is challenging about this situation is they're not really improving, and they're not really treating you the way that you need to be treated. I don't necessarily think they have bad intentions or negative intentions, by the way. I think they're a little bit lost in life. They're kind of like the Five of Pentacles card. They feel alone, and then when they want security and they want comfort, they come to you. And you, in the past, have said yes to them and have accepted them as they are. And your spirit guides are actually using Mary Magdalene as a sign. So this is not like meant to be a religious message, but it's just meant to be a sign of somebody who's so caring, so giving, almost like a Mother Teresa kind of figure, where you are almost motherly to this person. Like, you give them that security and that comfort that they so desperately need and they long for. But at the same time, that love that you're giving out is not being returned in kind. And what you need in order to transform is actually to break this cycle. So I know that's a lot. I know that's kind of a lot to just throw on you, but I do want you to know that if you successfully break that cycle, then you are definitely going to be so much happier. And I definitely see at least two to three more people coming in who are representing a higher energetic vibration, which is exciting and awesome. And one thing I want to say is, especially when we see the Eight of Pentacles here, this is a process that you're going to come at your own time. So I know it's very easy for me to sit here and tell you to break that cycle. For you, the situation might feel a lot more complicated, and that's okay. And I trust you to figure it out, and I trust you to find the timing that works for you. But I think for many of you, it's a gradual process over the next 4 months of just understanding on a very deep level that this cycle no longer serves you. And if you even look at these pentacles here, it's like breadcrumbs. It's like step by step by step by step, you figure out that you are destined for something so much better, so much higher, so much more fulfilling. And what I want to say is, a lot of you are like standing here right now, like this pathway seems really long, and the last pentacle, you can hardly even see it. It's like so far away. But after the last pentacle, there's the universe, and that is the love that you deserve, a love that is light and fulfilling. And literally, this is saying like the universe is at your fingertips. Everything that you've ever wished for and dreamed for is 100% available to you. You just need to say yes to it. You just need to decide that you are worth it, and you are. And so some of you are here, haven't gotten too far yet in this journey, which again is okay. Others of you have already realized some of this, and you're kind of here in the middle where this current connection feels secure and feels like, even though I don't want to say they don't treat you wrong, but it's just not consistent right now. Even though it's not consistent and they're not necessarily putting in as much as you are, I feel like there's some fear with cutting it off. But I just want you to know that once you do, you're going to be really safe. And actually, there's a part of you that feels relieved as well. That's what I'm getting. I do want to say it's a process. Like, you have the Emperor here. And when we see the Emperor, this is not necessarily something that's going to happen overnight. It does take time. It takes deep realizations. It feels like a fundamental rebuilding. And I think you take it in stages. And that is my advice. Like, not to necessarily rush this, but to make sure that on a deep level, you understand when you break this off, what are you reaching for instead? Like, what are you manifesting? What is the love that you want? And once you're really clear on that, I feel like it's actually really easy for you to get it, because it's just a question of being intentional about that. And I totally realize a lot of this is easier said than done, but just to kind of help you with this process, the love that you can manifest and that you will end up manifesting is a love that is a lot more reciprocal. That's the first message that comes to my mind. It's like what you put in, the other person equally puts in. You should not be putting in 10 hours of your time every week to this relationship when the other person is putting in 6 or 7. That's just not fair. And I'm getting a lot of energy that I would typically associate with like the Justice card. It's like what you put in, you will get out. And I feel like your next partner is someone who meets you equally. Everything is equal, everything is secure. You're not having to be the one to put in all the effort only to be getting half back. And so that's the first thing that I want to say. And I feel like if you look at this card, the Four of Pentacles here, first of all, this card symbolizes deep security, not only financially, but very much so emotionally and spiritually. But there's also a beautiful reflection happening here. And to me, this is all about reciprocity. So you see there's a star here, there's a star on the other side. There's a lot of imagery of reflection and harmony. And so I feel like your next relationship is going to be a lot more harmonious and a lot more fair. Like, your spirit guides are just talking about fairness and reciprocity and just really making sure that what you are putting out is returned to you equally. So that's what you can manifest and that's what you can focus on. And I also feel like your spirit guides wanted you to choose this pile because this is something you already know on a deep level. Like, you already know that this is a cycle that has already exhausted itself, and you're holding on to it because there's still some fear about what happens afterwards. Like, who will I be or who will I be with when I don't have this anymore? But your spirit guides are saying this reading is meant to give you the confirmation to just be willing to actually break that, because there is something better. And you just have to trust that there's something better. And by trusting your spirit guides, and they love you so much, by the way, and they really are working with you on this, you are going to be so much happier. And I just feel like you're going to be so much more at peace and so much more free, and that's what they want for you. And the other thing is, some of you have a fear of being alone. Like, the reason why you haven't broken this cycle yet is because you feel like, okay, it's better to be with somebody than to be with nobody. But what your spirit guides are saying is it's only going to be 2 to 3 months of being alone, truly, before the next person comes in. And the next person is going to be somebody who really reflects all of the beauty that you hold within. So it's almost like you need to see yourself as beautiful and acknowledge that and be willing to stand up for that, and then deal with 2 to 3 months of just being alone. And then following that, it feels like you have a really happy unity with this person. And this is somebody who fulfills you on a very deep level. So definitely trust your spirit guides. I think it's very important here. So let's talk a little bit about the middle cards here, because there's a lot of energy, and I'm getting that some of you feel very conflicted about the current connection. And again, I'm just being really honest here. I don't think that the current connection you're in is going to be the one that is lasting. It doesn't feel like it is fulfilling you. And so when I look at this unlikely card here, this to me is the current connection. This is almost, it has the vibe of trying to fit into a shoe that's the wrong size. Like, you have tried a lot to make this work. I feel like you've been really supportive of the other person. Yes, there have been some fights here and there. You've gotten in some arguments. There's been some bickering. But overall, I feel like you've been such a stable influence in this person's life. And I think they're very grateful for you. But I just think that even though they're grateful for you, they're just not reciprocating fairly. And I know this is really hard, but one thing that my friend has told me this before, and this actually really helped me at the time, was this phrase of, you could be holding them back from a lot of growth. So part of you actually is not only fearful for yourself, but it's like, oh, if I break this cycle or I break this connection, then what's going to happen to them? And you're such a caring person where you actually genuinely worry about that, and that actually does keep you up at night. And so the thought of breaking it is really hard for you. But your spirit guides also want you to think about, well, you might be holding them back from growth and them back from actually becoming the person they're meant to be. So if you are resonating with what I've been saying, and if your connection is indeed feeling a little bit tired, or like you're feeling exhausted and you've already tried so much, then I think over the next 4 months is the time to just say, you know what, I've tried everything. It's not that I haven't tried enough. I literally have tried everything. I've given this person more than enough chances. They're not reciprocating, and now I'm ready for something better. And that something better is going to happen 2 to 3 months after you decide to end the current connection. So yes, there will be things that you need to let go. I'm getting that the second you decide to receive at a higher level, as I like to call it, it will start to become very easy. Things will start to happen very quickly for you. I don't think that you jump straight into a new relationship or a new romantic partnership. I think there's a few months in between, but it feels like you almost immediately start getting signs that that was the right decision for you and that there is somebody better coming in. And I actually feel like I'm getting a lot about text communication and people reaching out to you via the phone. It would be texting, not so much calling. But I think that you have a number of people available to you who express interest. And this also gives you some hope. Even if these aren't people that you like seriously consider, I think it gives you hope that actually, yes, there are people out there for me, and I'm not going to be alone, and it's actually going to be okay. And I actually feel that this phase is very exciting. So now I'm kind of talking about after you have ended the connection, you're in the process of letting go. This is the 2 to 3 months where you're mainly on your own, focusing on your own growth. I feel that's when things are changing and it feels like an energy of buzzing, like it's very exciting. It's an energy of growth and harmony and happiness, and you're just connecting with people who are the right people for you. So yes, I definitely want you to look forward to that, because that's going to be so fun and so rewarding, and that's how you're going to find your person, like the person that you're meant to be with. And then here you also have the romance card. So I'm actually getting a couple messages about this card, so bear with me. There's a couple different meanings to this one in particular. The first one is about the current connection, or the connection that is the Five of Pentacles. Like, it's no longer serving you and it feels very draining. One thing that your spirit guides are saying is that it's hard for you to end the cycle because there is still some romance there. I think for some of you, this is physical attraction, where you tell yourself that it's okay to continue in the connection because you're getting something out of it. And for some people, this is actually physical. Like, you tell yourself, you know what? It doesn't matter if they're not the perfect person for me, they're still fulfilling some of my needs and some of my desires. But your spirit guides are saying that you shouldn't delude yourself. And I'm sorry, those are literally the words they're telling me. I didn't choose those words, but they're saying it's kind of like cognitive dissonance. Like, you know, on a deep level, it's unhealthy and that it's not serving you. And they want you to face that. And it does take bravery, but they know that you can do it and they're going to help you to do that. So that's the first message connected to this card. The current connection, which is very cyclical and repeating itself, is not true romance. You thought at one point in time that it was, but that is not actually the case. And there is somebody much, much, much better for you. So that was the first message. The second message is that your future person symbolizes a lot of unity and harmony. So again, I'm seeing a mirroring in both of these cards, and I'm feeling like the next person is somebody who feels a lot more balanced. Like, I think they're just less intense. I feel like they don't complain as much as the current person, and they just don't get caught in these negative cycles and patterns. I feel like the next person is more proactive, and I'm not just talking about them reaching out to you, I'm also talking about they're proactive with who they are as a person, and they genuinely want to lead a good life. I think a lot of them have recently moved to a new place, by the way, so they're trying to grow themselves and they're trying to really expand themselves. I'm also getting a lot of energy about music. Your spirit guides are showing me a guitar, so some of them might be very musical. And I actually think that some of you already know this person and you think they're cute and you think they're really nice, but you haven't seriously considered them because this is funny. Some of you have told yourself that this person is like hotter and more attractive and that the nice person is just like a sweet person that you're not going to consider. But actually your spirit guides really want you to consider this very sweet person and let go of this person who is not emotionally as good for you. So for those of you who don't feel like you know this future person, again, totally fine, because after you break this cycle, I feel it's 2 to 3 months and then this person comes in for you. And I feel they're very sweet. I think they are extremely supportive and caring. Your spirit guides are saying something about Taurus and something about Pisces. So maybe they have one of those in their chart. And to me, it feels like this is a true harmonious relationship. So much more carefree, so much more fun. I see you laughing a lot together. I feel like you go on some really beautiful dates and you feel so protected by them. And also at the same time, they really respect you. Like, they're never going to ask too much of you and they would never take you for granted. That's just not something they would ever do. Whereas the person that you have been with is really just taking you for granted in some ways. Whether that's their intention or not, they just simply have, and the cycle has become old at this point. So I know I've given a lot of messages in this reading and some are easier than others, but your spirit guides just want you to know that you're brave and you're confident and it's totally going to be fine. For those of you where you're not actually currently in a romantic connection and you have no idea what I was talking about with this would symbolize like the relationships of the past. And so I want you to know that if you feel like you've successfully kind of broken that cycle, your next relationship is going to be amazing. So I hope this gave you some clarity and guidance. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. Please check out Kino's video and Luna's. They're both amazing, so it will be wonderful to watch all three of those videos in tandem. And if you would like a personal reading, you can always book using my links below. And we also have a manifestation circle happening on October 20th. So come join us. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's about creativity and spirituality, and there are just some awesome women there, and I think it will be really fun and rewarding for you to take part. So thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next reading. Bye! All right, pile 4, welcome to your reading. So your first card is the Universe, which is a beautiful card. And now we are going to pull some more cards and figure out how your love life is transforming, what you are bringing in, anything you can look forward to. So you have the Hierophant here and the Seven of Pentacles. You have the Hermit and the Five of Cups. And then I'm also going to use this Angel Spirits Oracle deck and just pull a couple cards here to understand how your love life is transforming. Okay, so just to quickly review here, the Universe, Hierophant, Seven of Pentacles, the Hermit, the Five of Cups, and then compromise within the next few months, get more information, and be assertive. So there's a couple different messages coming through in this pile. There are actually two different groups watching this reading. One group is single and one group is in a relationship. And so throughout the reading, I'm going to try and address both. The group that is single, I definitely feel a young, charming influence around you. Somebody who I would almost describe as being a page-like energy. Like they're very charming, they're very sweet and caring, and in some ways they have this youthful vibe about them. The group that's in a relationship, I feel like some of you already have kids, and some of you are having to compromise in your current relationship. And how you're transforming is actually learning how to be more assertive when it comes to your needs and your boundaries, also your expectation for your current partner. And so that's something that you are going to be working through. So these are two very different situations. I'm going to do my best here to address both of them, and just take what resonates, and whatever is not for you, just know that there will be other messages for you in the reading. So the first thing is the Universe. Wow, you have been through a transformation over the last year and a half in particular. Especially if you're watching this reading in real time with COVID, something about COVID really shook you up, shook your foundations. It changed your entire worldview and your entire perspective. I'm getting that you actually changed who you were as a person on a very fundamental level. Just to give a quick example, it's kind of the energy like some of you might have been a really avid partier, or somebody who would go out a lot, or just, you know, kind of spend a lot of social time, and then you actually ended up becoming a very spiritual person, and now you have a new vocation or a new hobby that feels a lot more aligned with who you're meant to be. And so when I see this Universe card, I'm feeling like over the last year and a half, you have realized that life is a lot more nuanced and complex and exciting than you ever thought possible. You've really delved into your spiritual self, and now you're more focused on living a life that's aligned with your intuition and your highest calling, and also following your gut. I feel like in the past, you might have just let yourself be beholden to roles that other people put on you. Like, for example, you might have done what your parents expected of you or what your friends expected of you, but I'm getting that now you are really listening to yourself from the inside out. That's what your spirit guides are saying. You're listening to your inner calling. You want to pursue that. And part of the reason you are going to go through a transformation when it comes to your love life is your new preferences are a reflection of your inner transformation. And a lot of you are changing your preferences. That's something that I want to say very clearly. The people who you were attracted to in the past are not the same people that you're attracted to now. This actually runs the whole gamut. For some of you, this is simply about personality. For others of you, it's actually about gender identity and how people express themselves. For others of you, you are just changing preference when it comes to career, financial situation. Perhaps in the past you wanted something that felt very stable, or you wanted a partier, or you wanted something like that. And now it's like, no, you just want something fulfilling. You want something deep. So those of you who are currently in a relationship, particularly because you've gone through this change, I see this being a little bit of struggle, but it actually feels kind of exciting at the same time because I feel like you're finding your freedom. And through finding your freedom, it feels like you just get so much more out of life. So it's not necessarily going to be easy if you're in a current relationship. I think there's some relationship management to do with your partner. That's where the compromise comes in. But I think that you will be able to do this. And I think that over the next 8 months, you're going to realize a lot about your current relationship and current connection. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. So we have the Hierophant here. When we say the Hierophant, this is a process of building back up, building a solid foundation. This is also about learning. It's about apprenticeship in some ways. And the Hierophant is an interesting card because it's the Pope. So the Hierophant is symbolic of an institution. It's symbolic of learning on a wider scale. I know this is a little bit tangential, but I feel like some of you have enrolled in a course or have joined a community that feels really fulfilling for you. And I totally encourage you to continue with that because that feels like a way that you unlock a lot of spiritual insights and start to accept the love that you actually deserve. And some of you are learning more about intimacy and passion and physical passion as well. And that's actually changing your whole perspective. Like, I just get that you've gone through this major perspective shift. And this is all very good. Your spirit guides are actually very happy that you've gone through this, and they just encourage you to continue on it. They're saying that the journey isn't done yet. In fact, you're like, let's just pretend that the journey has 10 stages and you're in like stage 2 or 3 right now. So they're saying you have scratched the surface, but there is much, much, much more to come. And it's very exciting. And they want you to lean into this community. That's kind of the structure that I'm tapping into. That's going to help you develop more understanding about what you truly want out of your love life. For those of you who haven't found a community yet, I actually think that's a minority. Like in this reading, I think most of you have found something that fulfills you and feels like a group of people that you can anchor to and share your thoughts with. But I think if you haven't found a community, it would be a really good idea to find one, and particularly a community that feels like spiritual or psychological in some way. For some of you, it's kind of more like a therapy group or a support group, but for others of you, it's simply a spiritual community. And I think that both serve a good purpose. So whichever one you choose, you can't go wrong. So you have the 7 of Pentacles here. So in terms of transformation, what I'm getting is that it feels like it's a work in progress. So it actually starts with you seeing your inner light and being very supported by the people around you. And I'm getting the word sisterhood. So some of you are in a community that's specifically for women. Again, if that doesn't resonate, totally fine. But for those of you where it does resonate, it feels like this sisterhood is so empowering and just it helps you feel so safe, and that's how you step more into your power and yourself. So continue doing that, continue hanging out with these people. I feel like they see the side to you that is so deeply intuitive, and they help you listen more to your body, to your needs. they help you set boundaries. I feel like how you transform in your love life is, this is going to sound weird, but how your spirit guides are saying it is you change your vibration from being a little bit less needy. Again, I'm just saying it how I'm hearing it, to more empowered. So in the past, it's like you thought that you needed a partner in order to feel secure in life, and that actually can manifest sometimes in feelings of anxiety or fear. Like if they don't respond to you immediately, or even if they don't respond for 3 days, you might have found yourself freaking out and feeling like, oh my gosh, you know, where are they? Where did they go? I feel really nervous. I feel scared. I feel like I'm left alone. But your spirit guides are saying you're going through this big shift where you're no longer in that vibrational energy. In fact, you're going into an energy of empowerment and just trusting that your intuition is on point. All of the things that you're manifesting definitely come true, and you start to see signs of this. And so I feel like you go through this very fundamental shift where, because your mindset changes, your relationship changes. And if you're not in a relationship right now, the types of people that you bring in for yourself are just completely different from the people who you were attracted to before. I almost have this feeling like you have changed so much since the last year and a half. And because of that, your preferences have just changed so much too. Like in the past, you loved eating a specific food, and then now that food is just so unfulfilling to you. It feels like you need something so much more nourishing and so much more holistic. And so it's almost like what you had in the past was in a box, and it fulfilled a base need in some ways, but it didn't fulfill the real need, which is the need to be nourished and the need to be seen and heard fully. And I feel like what you shift into is so much more organic. It just feels like a lot more mature, and the type of relationship where you actually end up really marrying this person, wanting to have a family with this person. Like I'm getting that in the future connection and the future energy, it feels like there's just no second guessing. Like, you know, yes, this is the person for me. Yes, 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 yes. And you create that for yourself. So your spirit guides are just really proud of you, and they want you to know that they understand this hasn't been super easy. I feel like a lot of you have just had so many thoughts during this time. Like this transformation has been very fundamental for a lot of you, but your spirit guides are just saying, wow, like you're doing an amazing job. They're so proud of you, and they know that it took a lot of looking within. That's why we have the Hermit card here. You really spent the last year and a half looking within on such a deep level, and you've kind of gone on this inner journey. And I feel to a large extent like you haven't been able to share everything that you learned during this journey. It's kind of like you went on this mental, emotional journey. You discovered so much about yourself, and now you're going to start to put it into action. And I'm just going to be very honest. At the beginning, this won't feel particularly easy, simply because you are used to receiving at a certain energetic level, and you've literally shifted out of that into something that's higher. And so I think there are a few people who come into your field at first who are kind of like the people of the past. And so that's why the Five of Cups is coming up here. And it's almost like a test. I feel like you have to say no to those people, and you have to tell them why specifically they are not right for you. And you have to be very clear-minded about what you want instead. But your spirit guides are saying that you're going to do this, and you are going to learn to be more assertive. And so your transformation is actually more about communicating your needs, communicating what it is that you truly want, and being open to receiving at a higher level. And that can be a really hard thing, because if that's something that feels familiar to you from the past, it really does feel like a test, you know? It's like, this is not super easy to say no to, because there is a familiarity about it, but also there's a need to shift into something greater and something more fulfilling. And you will succeed at it. It will just take some of you 1 or 2 tries to get there. Others of you, it feels like a lot faster, more natural. So that truly just depends on the person watching the reading, and that's totally up to you. So that's okay. So let's talk about this compromise card. So there's a couple messages coming through with this card. One is regarding what I was just talking about. If you're currently single, I feel that there is some compromise at the beginning. So it feels to me like you have outgrown what it was that you had in the past in terms of romantic connections. And at the beginning, it feels like it's not necessarily a hole in one. Like once you've gone through this amazing transformation, there are some tests. I do think some of you go through 2 or 3 mini relationships, I want to call them, where you realize, you know what, I just need to be asking for something much deeper and much more fulfilling. And I just think that these little relationships teach you something about who you are and what you deserve in the future. I think these are short but important connections that teach you what you do want instead. And so it's kind of just like a gradual building process. And that's why we have the Hierophant. When we see this kind of energy, it's not like everything happens overnight. It is a little bit slower and it's a little bit more foundational, but it helps you build a very strong foundation for the future. So that's the first message. The second message, and I promised I would get to those of you who are in a relationship, some of you are married with children, and those of you who are, I think, have been struggling a lot with your current partner. I actually think some of you are going through a divorce, which doesn't feel particularly easy. I just want you to know there is compromise, but I see a positive outcome for you. I definitely think that it was the right choice. Whether you made the choice or not, I definitely think that this is going to allow you to be with the right person. Your next partner is definitely going to be a more consistent and reliable person for you, but also in some ways they're more consistent even as a caregiver. So if you have one child or plural children, it feels like you will have a partner who's like really reliable. And I think that's just what you need. I don't think you really had that in the past. I think that this person who you have been with has felt a little bit distracted and they haven't truly been present in your relationship and they haven't even truly been present with your child or children. So just keep that in mind. I think you've chosen to receive at a higher level and you will. And spiritually, this is very much the right thing for you. If you don't have children, but you are married, just going through all the different options here, I think that you actually will try and work on it with your partner. I think that you and your partner will go to therapy. That's how it sounds. To me, it feels like you sit down and you really try to work through the relationship. And this is where compromise comes in because the two of you do have different and opposing views. But I actually think you learn to meet in the middle. And so in that situation, I do feel like you will be successful in that relationship. And I don't see it ending or anything like that. I actually think it is a gradual rebuilding of expectations and really communicating your needs and being assertive. That's something that applies to everybody who's watching the reading. By being assertive and being a lot more communicative about your needs, I see a lot of healing in all of these different situations. So that's really positive. And I see those of you who are in a relationship without children, I do see you growing together and I see a rebuilding. So that feels really successful. Those of you who are going through a divorce, you become assertive with your needs throughout the divorce and you end up getting with a partner who's a lot more reliable. And those of you who are single, you are assertive about your options and you're assertive about the type of person you're looking for, and you will end up with a really wonderful person. It just might take a couple tries to get there. So all of this, by the way, is completely up to your free will. If you, for example, are single and feeling worried about taking 2 to 3 tries to get there, well, it's totally your choice. You are the one who decides that. All of this is going to be resolved within the next few months, regardless of whatever situation you're in. I'm getting the longer timeline is 6 months, but for many of you, it's actually resolved in 3 months. And after 3 to 6 months, you are definitely with a much better partner, somebody who is just very loyal, very respectful, caring, kind. I feel like this person is authentic. I feel like you have really good communication with this person. Again, if you are currently in a relationship, no kids, this is how your partner shifts, and this is the energy your partner will take on. So a lot of this is about communication style, and the way that you're transforming is learning to communicate really clearly, and your partner will learn how to do the same. And if you're currently single, your partner in the future will definitely have those skills. So that's wonderful. And then the last card here is get more information. So again, there are so many different situations that are coming through in this particular pile. Get more information for me is really about looking within and communicating what you're feeling internally, externally, much more quickly. So in the past, if you had a doubt, you are the type of person where you probably sat on it for like 4 months and didn't say anything to anyone, or maybe you might casually mention it to a couple friends and have some conversations, and it's kind of like that doubt would just chip away at you, and it would be like that niggling thought that you just can't get rid of. And I feel like for many of you, it would be a situation where eventually you would just explode. It's like a coming to boil, and then the pot just boils over. But you no longer need to wait 4 months to be able to express yourself. A lot of you are going to be much more assertive about the information you hold internally and bringing that externally. And being more assertive is actually really beneficial to everybody in your life, because they know where you are, they kind of know what page you're on, and then they can meet you there. And so that's where all of the compromise comes in. For those of you who are single watching this reading or are interested in getting a new partner, a future partner, it feels like you will need to get more information just about them in general. My advice is to ask them a lot of questions. I feel like asking them questions not so much about what they want for a relationship, but rather what are your hobbies, what do you enjoy doing in your free time. Trying to understand their personality traits and how they show up in different situations is really going to help you decide whether that's the right person for you. I'm getting a very strong male influence, somebody who has like, I would say brown hair. It feels kind of wavy, and I feel like they're very entrepreneurial and a creative thinker. And I think this type of person is just really good for you because they give you a new lease on life. Those are like the words that are coming to my mind. So I get a lot of stability with this person, but also excitement. So just when you are kind of assessing your future partners, make sure that you get all of the information that you need, and it's totally okay to ask more questions, and don't freak out about asking too many questions. That's really going to be totally fine. The right person will be willing to weather all of the different questions and explain themselves thoroughly and share themselves thoroughly. So that's going to definitely help you. But just to close this reading, I want to say that I'm really proud of the transformation you've been going through. I feel like you've been really showing up for yourself. You are so much stronger in your intuition. You are really trusting the guidance that you're getting from your guides. You're also trusting the pick a card readings that you watch online. And I feel like that's a good thing. So just make sure that you pick the right ones, the ones that you feel intuitively guided to. And I can't wait for you to either meet your future person who feels very stable, or to work on your current relationship, which also feels healthy, which is good. So if you like this reading, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. Please watch Kino's reading and Luna's. They're both amazing, so I'm just so grateful to collaborate with both of them today. And if you would like a personal reading, you can book using the links below. And if you would like to join our manifestation circle, we are focusing on creativity and spirituality this month. It is on October 20th, so make sure to get your ticket at the link down below. And I will see you all in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.